Hey guys, so we're going to be looking at some more graphs today, specifically pictures and bar graphs, to be able to draw conclusions or have a better understanding about what our graphs are telling us and answer some of the questions that it gives us. So we're going to use data from picture graphs to answer these following questions. So looking at this one, what is this picture graph about? Well, I can look at the title, I can look at the categories, and I can look at the pictures. And I see the title favorite fruit, and I see three types of fruit in the pictures that match it. So this picture graph is obviously about fruits, favorite fruits, right? Each fruit stands for one, excuse me. Each fruit stands for one child who chose that fruit. And so the nice thing with picture graph, it's pretty easy to tell what we're talking about based on the pictures they use. Excuse me, guys. So how many children chose apples as their favorite fruit? Well, I can come down here to the apple row, count 1, 2, 3, 4, and know that 4 children chose apples as their favorite fruit. Pretty simple. Well, how many kids chose pears as their favorite fruit? There's pear, there's 1, so 1 child chose pear as their favorite fruit. Now, here's another question. How many more children chose strawberries than pears? Well, how can we find the answer? Well, we can subtract the number of pears from the number of strawberries. So I have 3 strawberries and 1 pear. So 3 minus 1 is 2. The number 2 is the difference, or the difference between 3 and 1 is 2. And that also means that there are 2 more votes for strawberries than there are pears. So 2 more children chose strawberries than pears. How many children in all voted for a favorite fruit? Well, how can we find that answer? We can count all the fruit on the graph. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And all together, we have 3 strawberries plus 1 pear plus 4 apples gives us 8 children in all voted for a favorite fruit. Now, let's look at these next picture graphs that generate or come up with some questions. Kendrick asked 9 friends, which is your favorite to play, basketball, soccer, or baseball? Kendrick used tally marks to show how many friends liked each sport. The survey results are below. We had 3 for basketball, 5 for soccer, and 1 for baseball. So Kendrick uses the data in the tally chart to make a picture graph. So 3 people like basketball. So we put 3 pictures of a basketball down below. 5 friends like soccer. So 5 soccer balls show up on our picture graph. 4 and 5. All right, and then 1 person liked baseball, so we'll add 1 baseball picture. This is what I love about tally charts, is it's really easy to read and then change into a new type of graph. So the tally charts tells us the same information as a picture graph, they just look a little bit differently. Here we have tally chart or tally marks, here we have pictures. So we have 3 for basketball, 5 for soccer, and 1 for baseball, which matches our tally chart. What's a question that can be asked based on the data in the picture graph? Well, I could ask who was a favorite sport amongst the 3, or which one has the least amount of votes. I could ask, how many more votes does soccer have than baseball? What's the total amount of votes that are in our chart? What is the second favorite sport on this chart? Lots of different questions. How many total people were surveyed? So lots of different questions that we can come up with our chart. Now looking at bar graphs, we can ask questions like, what colors are the bar graphs on the bar graph? Well, there's purple, there's orange, and there's pink. And you can tell that they match the dinosaurs right below them. Each bar represents the number of people who like that kind of dinosaur. Now looking at this, what dinosaur was the least favorite? Well, the Triceratops bar is the lowest one. So that means that the Triceratops is the least favorite dinosaur. Doesn't mean that it's not a good dinosaur. It just got the least amount of votes. That's okay. How many children chose the T-Rex? Quite a bit. They went up to the top of the bar. They picked 5 people picked T-Rex. So that's the second answer. So we can now also use data from our bar graphs to ask some questions. What's another question that can be asked using the data in our bar graph? I could ask how many total votes were used in this chart, or how much is the most favorite dinosaur votes, right? How many total people voted there? How many total votes altogether? All these questions are good examples of questions that we can ask when we look at graphs. This helps us give us a better understanding of what the data is telling us.